What's up, guys? I got some pretty cool footage going on today. I'm going to be redesigning my wood burner once again. I recently changed out my wood burner to this larger unit, and lo and behold, bigger isn't always better. The particular ventilation system that I'm running on this thing does not work well with a chamber this size. If you're familiar with the term backflash or backdraft, that's what it is. You ever seen the movie Backdraft? This thing has some serious backdraft issues. It just doesn't have, I think there's just too much void for the vacuum from the blower. Something isn't working well, is all I can tell you. It seems like it just doesn't get as hot as it could. I don't like the way this air injection tube is blasting ash through my ventilation system. In the past, I've always run Cyclone combustors, which have been the best, because what happens in a Cyclone is this here. The air swirls in and it spirals, so the ash is flung to the outer side, and not as much of it travels out the exhaust discharge as would had you configured it otherwise, like I did in this case, which I thought would be conducive to a very hot fire, and in fact it is. But still, the advantage of that Cyclone is that it increases the residence time of the smoke. The smoke does somewhat of a swirl in there. It gives it more time to burn. It's a far cleaner burn. This thing burns horribly. It's a very sooty, foul combustion. I mean, look at the buildup on this thing. It's only had about 20 fires in it. And so yeah, so we're going to be chopping that off, welding that capped off there, and we're going to hook up this elbow to induce a cyclone draft in there. And we're going to see if it works any better. So there's the spout. Not the best angle in the world, but it will still induce a cyclone, and that'll keep a large majority of that ash from just flying directly into my exhaust system. I got lucky, and the piece of metal that drilled out of that bottom of the tank made a perfect cap piece. Getting ready to wire brush that off. We're going to throw some wood in this thing and see if it runs any better. I sure hope so. So everything's in place. We are kenneled up. You can see our discharge there. I'm still going to light it through this port here. And let's see how this goes. Hoping things work out a lot better. Okay, I'm just going to try it at about 120 watts of blower power here to start up. It's kind of hard. It's like 50 degrees outside, so I don't really need the heat, but it's nice to have it. Yeah, that was about 20 seconds. It's usually about all it takes. This might be different though, running a different setup. I definitely need to clean that intake up a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not. Can't see inside yet because the steam that it's making. Something's going on in there. Getting a fire. As soon as this thing gets hot, we should be able to see inside of that. In the meantime, it is lit. Let's go outside and check it out. See what's going on there. I think I might need to turn that up. Starting to work a little bit better. This wood is so wet. So startup's gonna be quite a challenge. It ain't gonna work very good until I get some good hot coals going in there. Definitely kicking off some heat already though. Just gotta get them coals firing that wood up, that wet wood, get it dried up. Once that first little batch gets dried, we'll have enough coal in there, or charcoal. I keep calling charcoal coal. We'll have enough hot coals in there to dry out the wood, which is essential for a good hot burn on one of these things. So far, for whatever reason, it's not buffeting like it used to. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos I had when I first built this. By now it would be pulsating and buffeting very strangely. Something about the frequencies of the dimensions and all that, and just the way that wood was combusting, I'm getting no buffeting. So the Cyclone has already paid off, or the vent anyway, the Cyclone vent. Once this thing gets fired up good, I'm probably going to close this vent, because as I said, I want that smoke to swirl in there, increasing its residence time. That also increases the residence time of the hot gas stream, so it doesn't just blow right out of the building. We spin it around for a while, use it a little bit, get it to heat this metal up so it puts off some radiation. I have found that it's almost better in some cases not to run a fan on this, because when it gets up to about 600 degrees, that's a real good thermal emitting temperature that's just not too hot, but it's good enough where you can feel the heat really kicking off of it. We are at about 52, 53 degrees there. I'd like to get it up to 70. So that's our goal. And it is kicking some heat so far. That is so strange. Removing that air spear has changed the way it operates tremendously. And I'm wondering if a lot of it has to do with the fact that as the air was being pulled through that large tube, you think it might have expanded so much, because that tube would operate at red hot temps. But I'm wondering if the air expanded so much that it caused a lag on the intake. You know what I mean? Like the airstream became a rubber band that suddenly started to stretch, and the vacuum couldn't pull the air in as efficiently because the air is getting heated up so much that it's expanding the same rate that it's being drawn into the system. You think that's plausible? So this thing was all the way down in the coal bed, and it came from an air spear up at the top of the burner. Very strange buffeting would be occurring usually by now. I'm not getting none of that buffeting. That is so weird. My reclaimer is up to 300 degrees. Combustion chamber is right around the same. Still not lit. That's not what I would call lit just yet. Before, it had a very lazy flame, like a backdraft, or like a backdraft kind of flame to it. Didn't even want to light very good. So already, that's amazing. Just putting this thing on here has made it burn so much better. I'm half tempted to go ahead and close this off now and see what happens for a second. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, now we're on cyclone mode, where the air is being swirled. Definitely changing the way things are operating down in there. I don't know if that was a good move, seeing as how I'm not quite lit. I'm taking that back off until things have time to heat up. Once we get a good fire in there, then I'll go ahead and do that. For now, it's just a little tiny fire. Definitely starting to feel some good heat though. I like to try to get this reclaimer up to about 500 degrees. That's a good hot temperature to where soot buildup isn't as bad. I'm not getting tar buildup and all that. So we are on our way here to a hot fire. I'm so glad I did this. That just amazes me how just a slight change in the intake could make this thing work so much better. It's already working so much better. It would be buffeting like crazy, and a pulse jet flame would be shooting out the front of this. It's insane how it would do it, but I'll leave a link in the description of this thing when I first built it. Man, the heat coming out of that is incredible. I could feel like a infrared laser shooting out of that. It's inside of that one. So glad I redid this. I had altered the intake system significantly due to some suggestions, and they were good suggestions. It's just that the way I had the intake hooked up on the burner was bad. I need to hook up down here from now on. Running that air spear was just a bad idea. I wanted to try it, and I think it was causing the airstream to turn into a rubber band. It was just the air was expanding so much as it went down that hot tube that it started to cause its own sort of flow rate in a sense, and diminish the power of the intake of the blower, because this is a vacuum system. This is a negative pressure wood burner. The vacuum being pulled on that blower outside ensures that I'll have no leaks anywhere. Even if there's holes, there actually is a couple of holes in this thing. Sometimes you can see a little light shining through a little crack in there, but like I said, it will never smoke. You can even crack the lid a little bit and it will not smoke on you because the draft's just so intense. So there you have it. Just wanted to update that rebuild. The air spear's a no-go. The Cyclone's the way to be, man. I was kind of unhappy that I took my old little burner out of here. This thing just did not perform well at all. It got it hot in here, but I know what a system can do as far as wood consumption, and the amount of tar and soot that this thing was putting off. It was just a horrible, horrible burn. This thing is burning so much better though. None of that buffeting. You'd have to turn it down because the pulse jet effect was so intense that it would be shooting fireballs at me. It's getting lit. So there we go, fellas. Just a few minor changes to my intake system and I am in business. I cannot believe how much of a difference that had. I'm not getting any of that buffeting. Of course, this isn't a big fire at the moment, but still, even the flames are looking a little brighter. It was just kind of a dimmer burn before. That is crazy. Just simply putting that Cyclone vent in there has just made this a completely new beast. Very hot one at that. I can feel radiation just blazing me right now. Incredibly hot. Definitely going to get a fan to blow on this. The radiation's just too much. It's too much surface area. Liable to melt something. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Anyone who's seen the other configuration I had on this build, or anyone who's interested in building a wood burner for their garage like this, this is definitely the way to go, guys. The standard flue system, where you got that high-powered firewall going on and you got the insurance agent up your ass and all that, screw that. I'm not paying more homeowners insurance just because I got a damn wood burner in my shed. Not like they're gonna pay up anyway when it comes time to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is in fact a swirl going on in there. See how that fire isn't just going straight up? There is a little bit of a swirl inside this tank now. Man, this thing is running so much better. That's incredible. The effects of that Cyclone. You can barely see the swirl. I can see it from where I'm at, but Really kind of got to know what you're looking for, I guess. Very happy with the amount of heat this thing is putting off without the buffeting now. Much better setup. That's a little more like it. I can do that. Kind of got to turn down. It's just a hot coal fire for the most part at the moment. But there you go. I'm done. I'm beating this dog to death. I just wanted to show you guys this new design and how much it changed it. So if you've seen the videos on this thing, the way it acted weird, none of that's taking place anymore. That simple little change in the intake solved the problem.